All right, Matt, Gary Graves from the Associated Press. What kind of reset have you had to do with this team, in the days since the conference tournament, or have you just had to reinforce everything and just keep them focused to get to this point?
Well, Gary, I think for us, having that 12 days off, you're trying to walk a fine line. You want to stay in game condition. You want to stay sharp in your offensive and defensive execution. But the ultimate goal is to arrive here in Indianapolis 100% healthy. And so we've tried to strike that balance. Been proud of our guys. I think they've worked extremely hard, and looking forward to this opportunity tomorrow night.
Right here.
Adam Wells, WPSD. Coach, having Tevin and KJ with previous experience in the NCAA tournament, how beneficial is that to you as a head coach to maybe use them to help prepare their teammates for this atmosphere and this setting?
We're going to find out. I hope it's very beneficial. Those two guys scored 35 points combined in a win back in 2019. I think both have done a terrific job, Adam, all season long in leading the way, showing the way not only how you work on a day-to-day basis, but how you stay committed to the process and stay focused on winning the next game, the toughness, both physically and mentally, that all requires. So I expect more of the same from them this week going into tomorrow night's matchup.
Let's go back over to WLKY.
Yeah, Matt, Dominique Gates with WLKY in Louisville. The guys were in here earlier and they talked about that, and you also just mentioned the experience. Has it been easy to kind of tune out the noise of, with the rumors, or not the rumors, but people talk about those potential matchups here and there? Is it easy to not focus or talk about that?
Hey, Dominique, say hello to your brother Ryan for me down there in Murray, Kentucky. But no, I think that's part of it. There's a lot of noise out there. This is the greatest sporting event in the world. But at the end of the day, as a program, we treat it the same way we do any other tournament. All we focus on is getting better as a team and trying to find a way to win the next game. And so I think our players have shown great maturity there and are looking forward to it. I think you can walk the balance here. You can be excited to be here and have the time of your life, and it should be a lot of fun, but you also have to stay committed to the hard work, the toughness, the discipline that winning requires that, quite frankly, got us to this point of the season.
Let's go right next to you right there.
Jeff Bidwell, WPSD. Matt, you've had your hands on some great point guards at Murray here in the last decade, and now Juice is the latest one. But in your mind, what makes a great point guard for you?
It's a long answer. I'll work my way through it. I think, speaking simply to Juice, the explosiveness, the change of speed, change of direction, you have to have some toughness to be an elite point guard. I think there has to be a certain level of basketball IQ and understanding. I think you have to possess leadership qualities. You have to make the people around you better. You have to be able to communicate with your teammates. I think there needs to be a special relationship there between the elite point guard and the head coach, because oftentimes they see things out there on the floor that you as a coach may or may not see. And so I think they can impact the game in other ways as well. I love the ability to shoot the three-point shot, the ability to play in our ball screen offense. And then at the end of the day, you're also the head of the defense. You're the one who has to apply pressure defensively and set the tone on that end of the floor. So I think there are a lot of responsibilities that come with that position. We've been blessed to coach some of the best to ever play it. And Juice has had a terrific year, and can't wait to watch him play tomorrow night.
Kenny Rolfe, Murray State Radio Network. Tevin Brown and KJ Williams have broken multiple records at Murray State. How have they impacted the program over their 4 years here?
Well, they'll end up going down as a legendary duo at some point. They're the first pairing of players in the great historic tradition at Murray State to go 3 straight years as first-team all-league players together. I can go through each individually. Tevin, the numbers speak for themselves. He'll soon go over 1,900 career points. He's the all-time leading three-point shooter in the history of our league. And on top of all that, he's going to be top 5 in steals, and he just moved past Cameron Payne into 5th place all-time in assists at Murray State with 400. So he does a little bit of everything well that impacts winning. KJ, very proud of him and his growth and development. Came in as a 6'9", 215-pound starting quarterback from Cleveland, Mississippi. And now he's one of the best front court players in all of college basketball at 6'10", 245, player of the year in our league. He's been dominant the last 6-7 weeks of the season, and then really proud of his development on the defensive end of the floor. There are not many guys in the country at 6'10", 245 who finished second in their league in steals. So both have been great. They've been foundational pieces of our program that really embody what the Murray State culture is all about.
Let's go to the left, back right corner. Go ahead.
Steve Lehman, News Channel 5 Nashville. Matt, you talk about KJ, particularly on the defensive end, but the entire team. How much have you elevated that end of the floor this year? And then what's your challenge on that end of the floor against guys like Bouye and Shabazz tomorrow?
Well, we've always put great value on that end of the floor. I think one of the reasons we've had the success that we have this season has been the balance there. I believe we're 15th in the country on the offensive end from an efficiency standpoint, and 11th on the defensive end. It's enabled us to win some games, Steve, on nights where we didn't shoot the ball very well. But I think there has to be great buy-in. We have some really good individual defenders, but more importantly, I think they function well together as a connected unit on the defensive end. It's going to be a great challenge tomorrow night. Elite backcourt play from San Francisco, great size up front. We do things a little bit differently, but a lot of the numbers are fairly similar from a balance standpoint.
For those of you that are participating via Zoom, if you would like to ask a question, please hit the raise your hand function, and we'll try to get to you as quickly as we can. Let's go back to Murray State Radio here.
Matt, you've talked about the culture that has been built at Murray State, and a cornerstone of that is toughness. How do your teams play that way, and how do you teach that? How do you coach that every day?
I think, Kenny, it starts with recruiting, identifying players who love it. You have to have a passion for this game if you want to become an elite player at this level. And then the toughness piece, the way we define it's the ability to move on and focus on the next most important thing. It's that simple. It's something we stress on a daily basis. It's really more about the mental toughness than it is necessarily the physical. And we've been blessed to coach some great ones. And they all have that. All the great players have that.
Let's go right back next to you. Go ahead.
Steve Lehman from Nashville again. Matt, obviously it's been an incredible season with 30 wins, and there's some expectations for people out there to win a game, maybe win 2 games. How do you balance, do you embrace that when you talk to the team, that you have to do it, or is there a pressure that if you don't do it, that somehow 30 wins was all for naught?
Steve, the way we do things, and that's one of the fun things about coaching, there are a million ways to do it. Different styles, different outlooks, different philosophies. We prepare for every game the exact same way. Doesn't matter who we're playing. We prepare in a consistent fashion with one simple goal, and that's to go 1-0 and win that game. And I think that helps our players have a laser focus on what matters most as you prepare for the next opponent. And they've shown the ability to do that all season long. And I expect nothing less this week as we get ready for this really good San Francisco team.
Further questions for Coach McMahon? Right here in the front, please. Thank you.
Yeah, Coach, Kevin Sweeney from Sports Illustrated. Obviously, you had a great foundation with, KJ and Tevin coming back, but as you retooled the roster last spring around those guys, was there a common thread you were looking for to help kind of build the winning culture you guys have had this year?
Yeah, Kevin, thanks a lot. Great question. I think we have really enjoyed the opportunity to recruit high school players for 2 and 3 years and build those relationships. And then, for example, Tevin Brown, I've known for over 7 years now, and really enjoy that part of the job. With the addition of the transfer portal, the one-time transfer exception, it's kind of an adapt or die philosophy. Whether you like it or not, you can complain about it all you want. You better embrace it. And so for us, we wanted to get older. We wanted to get more experienced. We wanted to bring in some guys who would impact winning in our program. And I really can't say enough about the guys we brought in. Carter Collins came to us from Davidson, where he had been a part of winning. He had averaged double figures the last 2 years. Terrific player, and really sacrificed a lot of individual stats, set aside any personal ego agendas, and just wants to win. And he's been an elite defender for us. I think he averages like 0.1 turnovers a game on the season, and he's had a tremendous impact from a leadership standpoint. Trey Hannibal came to us from South Carolina. He's like Ray Lewis playing guard out on the court, and does a little bit of everything, scores it off the bounce. He's been an elite rebounder for us at the guard position, has been terrific for us defensively. And then DJ Burns. I love hard-playing dudes, and that's what he is. You know what you're going to get every day. He's passionate. He's gonna play to his strengths. And again, another guy who just wants to win. And so, long answer, those were the things we were looking for as we built the roster around Tevin and KJ. And then I know it's been talked about from Jeff's question, but returning Murray State to elite point guard play that we've been known for a lot of years has been a huge part of that as well with both Juice Hill and Trey Hannibal.